I swear to God, guys, the universe works in the craziest ways. I think I started this YouTube channel to give myself advice. Like, I really think that it's almost like my future self knew the shit that was going to go down and was like, we are going to channel through you all of these messages of like hope and showing up and perseverance and resilience. And then we're going to make you make videos about it. And then you're going to need that. You're going to need that later. Okay. I don't even know where to start. It's kind of a messy video, okay? And I'm just gonna be honest. So much shit has happened in the past 2 weeks. I guess it's 2 weeks. I don't even know because what is time? Basically, I woke up about 2 weeks ago and my neighbor came to my door and was like, we're leaving, like, we're evacuating. I was actually in the middle of filming a YouTube video. Because you know me, I'm a good girl, and I was like, I am going to be posting minimum once to twice a week. And there I was, my little ass was there filming. He comes, he's like, yeah, the foundation of our house is slipping. The mountain is like crumbling, and you can see the house moving. And last night I heard all these like pops and sounds in our house. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me just finish this YouTube video because I'm not about that life. I was like, that's great for you. Okay. Denial. Okay. Couple hours later, we literally see the ground and the earth. So my house is like on the side of a mountain. Okay. It's like a steep hill. Okay. But they've built it. They've built it into the side of this mountain. And all of a sudden, there was like a crack that was opening between my house and my neighbor's house. And when I tell you, every hour we would go outside and look at this crack and we'd be like, this is interesting. It was growing by inches and inches every hour. By the end of the day, there was a hole in the ground, like this big, this deep. And we're like, oh shit, like that's not good. It was raining. So then over the course of that entire day, the ground dropped. Like now there's a chasm, now there's a hole. You can look deep into the hole. You can look 12 feet into the hole. And then the ground dropped over the course of 24 hours by 6 feet. And we could see the foundation of my neighbor's house cracking. We could see the earth separate from my house. You could look down into the hole. And then you could see my house starting to lean. By the end of that day, the city had come by and put posters on our houses that were like, this house is basically condemned. It's deemed unlivable. It says unsafe to occupy. And we had to leave. We were like, the fuck do we do now? Okay. I'm still like in the past. I'm still back there. I'm still like, okay, but can I just edit this video first? Because I'm trying to get it up. No, you aren't. No, you aren't. In fact, you won't be getting it up because you will spend the next 72 hours panic packing your house, getting movers to come to your house, finding a storage unit, finding a new apartment, finding an office space. Okay. You will cry multiple times. Your kids will be home because they're sick, of course. And that is what will happen. So I'm finally back. And there's such a part of me that's like, Mandy, don't talk about this. This is not like what your channel is about. Your channel's not about you, right? Like when I started this YouTube channel, my whole, like, I wouldn't say when I started it, but I would say midway through when it started to pick up and when I started doing more reps and actually started like getting into it, my whole idea was like, I'm always going to make the channel not about me. Like I'm going to make the channel about the audience, about the viewer. I'm going to talk to them directly. I'm going to make them feel good. I'm going to pump them up. It's all about you. Like, that was honestly my intention. And so when something so crazy as this happened, I really was like, well, what do I do? Because I'm not in any position. First off, I only got everything set up yesterday. Like, this place was filled with boxes. Spent all of yesterday breaking down the boxes, putting stuff on the shelves, like just trying to organize everything. Couldn't find my microphone, couldn't find my wires. I couldn't do anything, okay? And I was like, what do I do? I can't like show up and be like, hi guys, ready for some inspiration. Like, it's just not. So I realized this is a moment where I had to level up, where I have to not just hold you, but be able to be held. Be able to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, actually some stuff happened to me, and here's how I'm feeling about it. And not worry how it will be received, or whether it's on brand or on brand, or like whether it's gonna land or whether it's gonna make sense. Because also, this is a moment for me perhaps to demonstrate resilience. Not just talk about it, not just use stories from the past, but to be like, actually, there's some shit that's happening right now, and let's use this, the immediacy of this, to actually create something that is totally unscripted, totally just like, me talking, and having to be okay with that. Okay, it's so funny because I feel like I was just figuring out like the YouTube formula, like how to talk to the camera and how to do all these things. And now the universe was like, guess what, bitches? We're gonna shake it up. But fine, shake it up. Okay, so when all this was happening, there was like a phrase that was just going through my head. And the phrase was meet the moment. Okay? Because not just every day, but every hour, some other shit was unfolding. Okay? And so meet the moment meant like, I didn't go into warrior mode. I went into just receptive mode. I was like, okay, what is needed of me in this moment? So in this moment, the kids are hungry. Okay, let me get them some food. In this moment, the movers have questions. Okay, let me go help them. In this moment, I need to organize the garage because I need to decide what stays versus what goes. In this moment, I feel that I really need to get my journal making equipment out of the house into somewhere safe. So let me prioritize that. So it was just this constant like having to be really present. And also, I think like when I talk about resilience, for example, I'm just like so frustrated right now because I feel like in my normal YouTube videos, I'm so put together and I have all my ideas, and I like usually, I don't script it out, but I'll have like bullet points, and I'll be like, these are the things I want to talk about. And right now it's all just like coming, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so messy. People are not gonna want to watch this. I don't care. I can't. Okay. I cannot live in this perfectionist mindset. I'm just gonna exist. Okay. So here I am just existing. Okay. So I always thought resilience was like just being tough, like just being hard or just being strong. Actually, I don't think so. I think resilience means learning how to ride the wave and learning how to listen. Okay, and really listening to that inner guidance. Because there were so many, I'm talking like we were evacuating our house, and I also was like, maybe we should grab the Xfinity router because we're going to have to return that. Or like we're like trying to pack and the movers are like, do you want this? And it's like a bag of beans and like quinoa, and I'm like I don't know, right? Or like my husband is at the apartment and I'm at the house and I'm trying to organize stuff as the movers are like picking it up, right? And there's like 3 pairs of shoes. I have to like send him a photo of the shoes, and I'm like, do you want these shoes? And then he's like, no, I only want the ones on the left. The ones on the right can be like donated or thrown away because they have holes in them. I'm like, okay. Then like walking up to the trash and realizing the trash is full. And then like, okay, so then the trash is full. And then the next day it's raining and the trash has been like, I don't know, my timeline is skewed, but basically there was like a moment where I was like, okay, should I pull up the trash to the curb in the rain, even though it's raining and that's annoying? But then I was like, no, you have to do that because you have to do that because the next time you come, you don't want to have a full trash can. You're going to have more stuff to throw away. Like random pieces of wood I need to get rid of. You know what I mean? Like just random things are awkward and take up the whole trash can. So there I am in the rain pulling up a trash can to the top of the driveway. I mean, just stuff like that is resilience. It's not this sort of posture where you are like strong and still. It's actually in movement. Resilience is in movement. And I also think like listening to yourself and being like, okay, what do I need right now? This was a huge exercise in physical and mental awareness because what's interesting is I would oscillate between physical exhaustion and then mental exhaustion. And they wouldn't actually happen at the same time. But then towards the end of the night, like they would happen at the same time. And it would be like, I would just crash out and it'd be like a big mess. But the physical exhaustion was, you just had to be very attuned. You had to be like, oh, I'm getting tired. I need to sit down. I need to eat something. I need to drink water. I was totally forgetting to drink water. And then the mental exhaustion would be kind of in these quiet moments. They would happen. Okay, so what's so crazy and what I realized that I was doing and that was taking emotional energy is so I would be at the house and then there would be like these people that would come by. Like let's say like a woman who was cutting off the gas to the house in case it slid and then like the pipe would burst or something, right? So, or it'd be like a neighbor that would come by, or it's like it's just like I had to interact with so many people, okay? And they would come by and they would be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about what's happening," because it was very clear there was like construction crews, there were like land stabilization crews, there was like heavy machinery in my front, there still is heavy machinery in my front yard, like everything was happening. The builder was there, the construction, everything. People would come up to me and they'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about your house. Or like, oh. And I would do this thing where I would be almost in like happy, like, oh, thank you. No, it's fine. It's okay. Like, we'll be fine. Or, you know, like the movers came and I would meet them, right? And I'd introduce myself and I'd be like, oh, thank you guys so much for coming. Oh my gosh. And then I'd be like, okay, let me give you a tour of the house. So this is the kitchen. This is like, I just was in that mode. And I found myself getting kind of annoyed because I was like, wait a minute. Wait, I am the one who is actually going through something. And yet I'm like in hostess mode. Like, what the fuck? And I think that's what kind of scared me, actually. I was like, how come actually in a time of real trauma, like actual, like this is not an exaggeration. Like my house is sliding down a hill. We have to evacuate. Like this is actually could be categorized as a serious incident, right? That would have negative emotional impact on me. How come I'm still playing hostess? How come I'm still like, oh, thank you? Like, there were no, and I don't know if this is my fault or whatever, but like, there were no moments where I could just be scared or sad or confused or, you know what I mean? Because I had to be mom or I had to be the hostess or I had to be the administrator, you know, like, you know, having to just do all these little tasks calling the donation place to come pick up our couches, which I also was like, oh, this is a great opportunity. We've had these couches for 15 years. I'm like, maybe it's time, right? But like calling them, and then I'm on the phone. I'm like, hi, so I'm calling because my house will, and I'm like, Mandy, stop. Like, stop being so fucking put together. Like, it's annoying. And also, it's taking up energy. It's taking up energy. And so I don't know what the solution is. Like, I don't know if it means that, I mean, I'm not going to walk around being all like mopey and sad either. But I just think it's about widening the scope of allowing yourself that full human experience. You know? Like, everybody wants to be like, I'm so sorry. But I'm sorry too. I'm fucking sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. And like, just allowing whatever comes to come. And I think that's what resilience is. And I think even like when I think about, okay, I really want to make a YouTube video, but I don't feel like I could really show up as the person that I want to be, right? That is perfectionism. That is trying to be perfect. That is trying to control something. I can't control this. And so what am I going to do? Hide? What am I going to do? Not make a video? No, like I want to make videos. That's like part of coming back to me as well. You know, I can't control that my background is different. My bookshelf is over there and you can't see it, right? Like I can't control any of these things. The only thing that I can control is just showing up and allowing myself to show up as a lesser or different, or even maybe not even lesser, just evolved version of me, and giving ourselves permission to do that. Because I also know, because I write about this and think about this and preach about this so much, that if I don't feel the emotion, if I don't let myself cry, if I don't let myself get sad, like I'm so mad right now because I'm like, I don't know, like, okay, for example, when we bought the house did not come with a refrigerator, okay? So we bought one and I spent so much time, so much energy, and refrigerators are expensive, okay? So much time, so much energy picking out the right one for our family. Okay, we are ice people. We love ice in our drinks. I did not want one of those ice makers that's in the door because like it sometimes melts the ice and then the ice is like chunky and it takes forever and you're like, and it's like not coming out, right? So I found an ice maker where you open the drawer and the ice just falls. It's like caught. Okay, I also found one where there's like a water thing, but there's no bottom of the water lip. So you could take any container to get water. A cat water bowl, a large bowl, a tall, like, anyway. I had done all this research and I love this refrigerator, okay? So now we're in limbo and I'm like, do I take the refrigerator with me? Because first off, I love it. Second, we paid for it. Third, but then I'm like, well, I don't know, because first off, that thing is heavy as shit. It is so big. And I don't know about you, it just stresses me out to have to deal with such a large appliance. And as I'm saying this, I'm like, this is such a silly whatever. Okay, stop the judgment. Okay. I had the movers leave it because I also know that at the end of the day, like if it's just me with a huge ass refrigerator that's going to like topple over me, that's sitting in storage for God knows how long. So I just made the decision to like, okay, let's leave it here for now. What are we going to do with the house? Are we going to keep it? Are we going to sell it? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. There's so many variables. So it's like, I don't know enough. So all I have to do is sit in the gray area, sit in the limbo of being like, I don't know what's going to happen to this refrigerator. I am just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. And it's like 1,000 of those things. And I'm mad. I'm mad because like, I want to know. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know if I should keep the refrigerator. Am I going to be losing money? Is this a smart decision? And I don't have clarity on that. I don't have that. And that sucks. And there's like 1,000 things like I'm so mad because like in my kitchen, for example, I mean, I love my kitchen. I'm a big cook. You guys know me. Like I make most of my food from scratch, from home, right? And right now, because we moved into an apartment, there are like 4 huge boxes here that are filled with baking stuff because it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit into an apartment kitchen. So there's like 4 huge boxes full of baking, like specialized like baking stuff, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Like, I don't know. It's just gonna sit there, and then I think, are there gonna be ants that are gonna like eat the cake flour, whatever. But one of the things that I'm so mad about is the kitchen. I had just, so we have, it was like, we have the kitchen island. Okay. And there's like these drawers these cabinets that open. And the thing was that is like, it opens, but then it's super deep inside. So what we would do is we would just like, it was like where all our Tupperware was. We would just like get the Tupperware from the dishwasher, just like throw it in that drawer and like close it and like not look at it. Okay. And I was sick of this. I was like, no, I think we need like a better organization system. You guys know I'm all about my systems. So then I researched it. I went on Amazon and I found these pull out drawers. They're like metal. They're really high quality. They were like $100 each. And I bought like 4 of them. Okay. And you have to install them. It's not like one of these like peel and stick. Like you have to take the cabinet out. You have to drill holes. You have to like screw the thing. You have to like align the shelf. And like this project took 2 whole days. But then in the end, I had the most amazing Tupperware organization system. And like every day I'd be so happy. I just like slide out the drawer, put my Tupperware neatly, slide it back in. And guess the fuck what? That's all just still there. That's just all still there. And I don't know why, but that is the thing that makes me the most mad. I'm like, I had my Tupperware system. It was beautiful. It was perfect. And now what? Now what, guys? What do I do now? So now I'm in my apartment and I was just so mad because I'm back to just like shoving the Tupperware in. And I'm like, this is a rental. I'm not going to drill holes. I'm not going to install this fancy ass. So like, there's a part of me that's like, okay, the house has not collapsed yet. Couldn't I go back there with a drill, and like rescue those parts? But who has time? Who has energy to do that when you're also trying to just like exist and reestablish yourself and reroute, I don't. And so again, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do it. And plus it's like the mental load of then having those random ass parts and in storage somewhere. And then obviously like wherever we end up next, I don't know what size cabinets that's going to be. So then what if they're not the right size? So part of me is just like, we're just going to have to move on. We're just going to have to start over. I think the thing that is so hard about this situation is that it was unexpected. Like I said, it was a Monday and I was like, la-di-da, like off to a great week, just chilling. No, you're going to pack up your whole bloody house in 1.5 days. You're going to move everything into storage. You're going to like, I'm like, am I being dramatic? No, I don't think I'm being dramatic. Like this is actually like kind of a serious situation. And all of this is going to happen. So you don't have notice. You can just sit with it. You can just fly with it. Okay. I have no advice for you guys today. I'm so sorry. I had to get this video out just to like break the seal and be like, okay, I'm back to making videos. It's not the perfect video, but like I say, you have to have the momentum. You have to try and show up as you are. Show up as you are. I'm always talking about progress, not perfection. And like, here we are. Okay, so I'm living it. Okay. Thank you so much. Can you imagine if you've never seen a video of mine? This is the first video you see. It's like, mind you, my first impression of you is messy. Fine. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm doing fine, I think. I don't know. Maybe 2025 is the year of witnessing one's own mental breakdown. I don't know. In which case, fine. I accept it. There's a lot of good as well. There's a lot of good, which is I'm safe. My family is safe. It's also like I had this dream for a while and I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. I had this dream for a while where, so we lived in like a really cute subdivision. It's like houses. My kids were friends with all the neighbors. They would ride bikes. They would play. It was really cute. And that was like what we wanted when we first came here. And then over time, I think me and my husband, we both just wanted more space, because also my house is on the back of a hill, which is now sliding, but we wanted like a backyard. Like I want chickens. I want the whole thing. I want like the farm life. I'm not afraid to admit it. I want the farm. I'm like a city girl, but I also love the idea of having like a little more space, having outbuildings, maybe having a little building just for like my journal making stuff. Just like the quiet, more rural life is like a dream that I had. But there was no way we were going to do it, because what are we going to do? Sell our house? Like, it's so much work. And like, I just knew that even though we had this dream, there was never going to be enough momentum for us to actually pull the trigger and be like, okay, we're going to do it. You know, we're going to say bye to all our friends. We're going to, you know, rip away our kids from their friends on the street. We're going to put our house up for sale. Like, there was just, as much as we wanted that, it was more like a fantasy, and it was more just like, okay, like one day when we save up enough, or one day when, it was just always like there as a fantasy. And now I'm like, well, wait a minute. We have just condensed what would have been a 6-month process. Like, if I'm being real, if I were to really pack up and move my house, I need like at least 2 to 6 months. Like, I would have been like unscrewing like all the little drawer. Like, I would have been way more OCD about it than I was. I would have organized everything. I would have made multiple trips to Goodwill. Everything would have been so tight and clean. But essentially, we condensed what would have been a very clean, organized process into a chaotic, messy 1.5-day process. But now it's done. We joke, we're like, oh, see, there was no reason for me to have organized my closet, because we had to move anyway, right? Like, all these little, like, my husband jokes, he's like, well, sure, I'm glad I didn't put any effort into the backyard. You know, it's like all the things that we put off, we're like, oh, actually it made perfect sense. And like, I had been wanting to clean out the garage. I had been wanting to go more minimal and like do all these things. And so now I'm like, oh, is this the universe clearing that path for us? You know, is this actually now a very real way forward, right? So, long story long, there's always some beautiful parts, even amidst the chaos. Thank you guys for watching. I love you. I will, of course, keep making these videos. Even in the midst of an evacuation, I will be making these bloody videos. Because I need you guys as much as you need me. Here's the evidence. So, okay, thank you. I will talk to you later. Okay, bye!